I've had many episodes on this podcast involving and discussing Kobe Bryant, but I know this one is going to be the hardest one. As we all know, boys and girls, Kobe Bryant died on Sunday, January 26, 2020. He was involved in a helicopter crash. This helicopter crash took the lives of Kobe Bryant, his second daughter, Gianna Bryant, family friends and John Altobelli, Carrie Altobelli, Alyssa Altobelli, Christina Mauser, Sarah Chester, Peyton Chester, and Arya Zabayan was also the pilot of the helicopter. I'm not gonna lie to you. From Sunday until now, I've lost how many times I've cried. I just flat out have been an emotional wreck. I have been crying my eyes out for the last 2 days because it just doesn't seem real to me. It feels like a perpetual nightmare that I can't wake up from. I feel like any moment now I can wake up and Kobe Bryant and his little girl Gianna isn't gone. But 2 fucking days in a row I've woken up and it's just I've woken up to tears. It's so weird because I've never met Kobe Bryant in my life. I'm just a simple guy. I'm just a nobody. I'm a fucking nobody. But Kobe Bryant affected my life in more ways than I've realized over these last few days. And you know what's crazy? If you actually list all of his accolades, you can make an entire fucking episode just about Kobe Bryant's accolades. Right? From 1996 till 2016, he was with one team, the Los Angeles Lakers. And within that time, 18-time All-Star appearances and 4-time All-Star Game MVP. 11-time All-NBA First Team, 9-time All-Defensive First Team, 2-time scoring champion, 1-time NBA MVP, 5-time NBA champion, 2-time Finals MVP. Oh, not to mention the 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Just listen to all that shit for you. It's amazing how much stuff he did just as a basketball player. And as an immigrant who moved to this country in 1998, who knew nothing of this country's culture, who knew nothing of the language beforehand, found peace and just, love within basketball. And this is the guy who made me fall in love with it. And by extension, he made me fall in love with sports and more than that, life. What does Kobe mean to me? Man, I don't know. I've been asking that question for 2 days now. I know Kobe Bryant is much more than a basketball player to me. The man is many things, but to me, he was first and foremost a philosopher. And the one thing that I have talked about many times on this podcast, even made episodes out of Mamba mentality. And Mamba mentality is to be able to constantly try to be the best version of yourself. That is what Mamba mentality is. It's the constant quest to try to better today than you were yesterday. And there are the 5 pillars of Mamba mentality. Be passionate, be obsessive, be relentless, be resilient, be fearless. Words that pop in my head anytime I just mention Kobe Bryant beyond the extent of the philosophy of Mamba mentality is excellence, focus, determination, passion, curiosity, love. This man inspired and still inspires me to do more than yesterday, to demand more of myself. And quite frankly, in a time where I'm in an emotional and psychological rut, beyond the death of Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bryant's death highlights all the wonderful accomplishments he had in his life, and that that life that he lived makes you appreciate all the things that you have in your life a lot more. And it's really weird to explain it, but I'm going to try it anyways. Watching Kobe Bryant's career from my young age when I came to this country to the day he wrote Dear Basketball, the poem, and announced his retirement, this was my guy. This was my guy. Like, this was the guy where I said, I don't care what the fuck he does. He's the fucking greatest. He is the greatest goddamn player of all time in my eyes. And there's a period of time where I knew nothing about sports. Okay, I didn't research the stats. I didn't look into stories. I just knew names. I just knew names here and there. Kobe Bryant was the one guy in my dictionary that never erased since I left LA. When I started living in Las Vegas, I didn't really pay attention to sports. Started getting really into like watching films, doing all this weird shit in middle school and high school. But the word Kobe, the idea of Kobe still kept around because Kobe Bryant, right? And throughout the entire time, it was just amazing to watch this man create his career out of just relentlessness and just this amazing passion for the game that became global because of guys like him, and of course, before him, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. But within my generation, I know Kobe Bryant was a huge factor in people loving the game of basketball. And, the day he announced his retirement, the poem Dear Basketball coming out, that day was heart-wrenching to me. That day was so weird too, because I believe it was a time when I just recently got promoted at my old job, and where my life was starting this kind of new chapter with, a new sub chapter within my life. Kobe Bryant, in his career, in his life, was closing a chapter. And I remember following that season and just being so emotional all throughout because, first of all, we were terrible. The Lakers are fucking terrible in that 2015-16 season. We only won 17 goddamn games in the regular season. Lost 65. That's 82, boys and girls, yes. But I remember that season because it was a game, of course, that we all remember now. The final game of Kobe Bryant, where he put up 60 points. I remember watching that game. I remember rewatching that game. And I thought, wow, there is going to be no one greater than him ever in my eyes. Like, I've never watched anyone better. And, that might get me become a spoiled kind of basketball fan, but I grew up in an era where Kobe Bryant was a god and he retired as a gentleman of the game, gentleman of the world, and you saw his impact when Sunday happened. And it's so crazy to me to think that Kobe Bryant is gone. But it's just wild, man. I mean, you just realize that this is the guy who was just texting LeBron James Congratulations on passing me third of all time scoring just on Saturday when they lost to the Philadelphia 76ers. And then he dies the next day. And this just reminded me a lot of my dad dying, where I remember the day before he died. Might have been the day before, 2 days before, but I remember the last discussion that I had with my dad very vividly, very vividly. We were at the living room and we were discussing soccer. We were discussing the state of South Korean soccer and how much the game still needed to grow, and eventually we'll get to a point of competing for championships within the realm of tournaments that we do have. And we both kind of like chuckle, jokingly, like, oh, we hope this shit happens, but who the fuck knows, that kind of thing. But then he was gone. And it's just so crazy how life just changes, just like that. And it just makes you just realize that life's too short. All the cliches, everything, yes, it's too fucking short. You don't know what the fuck is going to happen tomorrow. And to a man who made me realize what I can do with myself, what I can do to better myself in terms of articulation, in terms of presence, in terms of being there. This man gave me so much as a human being, as a boy just trying to figure himself out in a confusing country, in a confusing time where his parents weren't all that around. They were busy with work. So I had him, I had Kobe. And as I move on into, shall we say, dumbass adulthood, because I am a dumbass, teaching me that there's more to life than just one aspect of what you do. Life is so much more than just your career. Life is so much more than just you. Life is so much more. There's so much more out there. And the insatiable hunger to better oneself, the insatiable need to learn more. I mean, it's the lessons that he left us within various forms of media, various forms of performances, night in, night out as a Laker, is something invaluable that we all should appreciate. And I'm getting all teary-eyed again, man, because fuck, man, Kobe Bryant dying, it's fucking crazy to me. It's a fucking shocker to me. And the way it happened too, it's just, it's a reflection of how truly unfair life is. But simultaneously, it's also showing you that within that fragility of life, within the confines of life, that if you put your mind to it, if you put your focus and love and passion into what you do, what you want to do, that you could defy everything. You could defy logic. I mean, you could even defy gravity. And that's what Kobe Bryant means to me. Kobe Bryant is so much more than a basketball player. Kobe Bryant is so much more than just another human being. Kobe was Kobe. And ultimately, I just want to say thank you, Kobe Bryant. Thank you. God damn, man. I knew this shit was going to be hard, dude. I really did. Because I wasn't coherent at all. Even with the script, I can't fucking... I can't concisely put out my thoughts right now. It's just too raw still, boys and girls, and I apologize, but shit. Kobe Bryant meant a lot to me, man. He did. So it just fucking hurts. It just fucking hurts right now. And I know I've been away. And I know nothing has been updated on the podcast, but be ready next Tuesday, boys and girls. I'll be ready. Folks, apologize again for just kind of the abruptness of this and also the lack of coherence again. But thank you so much for joining me this week. Make sure you're subscribed on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music for a new episode every Tuesday. Make sure to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at The Sky Lounge. Stalk me on Snapchat at DA13IG5UNG. And if you're wondering why there's an echo, I'm actually recording in the bathroom, so a little bit of echo. Now, fuck off.